Good morning, Libra Brew. How are you all doing today? Good morning to all my fellow female Libras and male Libras. I hope that this video will find you well, in good health, good spirits if possible. To all the Libras out there, honestly, I know that this platform I'm building is to put emphasis on those who have been born under the Libra zodiac sign, but I want y'all to know that today this video is for everybody, and I want you to know that I'm not going to be concerned about the time today. I am going to let the Spirit lead my tongue and lead my heart, because it's extremely heavy. And to be honest with you, I struggled with just trying to prepare a video for you all today and almost decided not to do it, but this is something that I committed to do, and I'm going to keep my commitment. Regardless, I'm going to show up when I feel like I can't show up, and that's what I'm doing today. It has nothing to do about astrology or your birth date, although I know that I'm very much into that, and as I stated, it's a platform that I want to build. I want to put emphasis on, not necessarily like the other ones that are out there that just deal with strictly astrology and let me do your card reading, your tarot card reading, and that's not where I am with the platform. I want to shine light on Libras because I'm a Libra, and I'm sensitive to Libras, and I'm still learning about myself just simply as a human. One thing that I do believe about myself is that, and other Libras can chime in if you like, I know that I'm an empath. Now, this word empath is, it hasn't always been around, and I haven't always identified myself as such. And to be honest with you, it's I don't walk around and say, oh, I'm an empath. I just recognize it now. Meaning that I'm that person that can feel extra sensitive to the environment and things that are happening in my environment. Many empaths have an intuition, clairvoyant, psychic, whatever word you want to call it. I know that I am that person. It's not something that I talk about, because from where I come from and my upbringing, it is still very taboo. So you guys don't know a whole lot about me. Some of you all don't know anything about me, but my background and my upbringing and how I was raised, I am truly, I I'm truly that person that's kind of sort of like the black sheep of the family. I'm the one where everyone is going to the left direction. I'm going to go to the right direction, or I'm just going to go forward. I'm not going to go left or right. I'm just going to walk forward. So many of you know what I'm speaking about, but I'm sharing this with you today because there's so much I want to say about what we are experiencing in the nation regarding mass shootings. We just experienced another one on yesterday in my home state, Texas. Now, I want you guys to follow me on this. First of all, I want you to know that it was my desire to do a live stream today. I had told myself that I wasn't going to live stream, until I got like something like 100 subscribers, right? But I woke up this morning. I haven't had that much sleep. I only had maybe about 3 hours of sleep over the night because of this heavy on my mind, and up working on other projects that have nothing to do with YouTube. Anyway, I said, I think I'm going to live stream today for the first time. But little did I know, beknownst to me, I cannot live stream because I don't meet the YouTube criteria right now, the requirements to live stream. I have to have at least 50 subscribers. I'm getting there. I think I'm at 27, I believe. So, as always, housekeeping that I try to do at the beginning of the videos as much as possible. If you are enjoying these videos, if it's something that I say that resonates to you, all that I ask is that you hit the like button and you also subscribe to the channel. You can hit your notification button so that way you know when there is a video that I've done. I try to do one every day, but it doesn't always work out that way. So if you hit your notification, you'll just be notified when I have one of these videos. I ask you to comment. I ask you to share. All of these things work in concert with stimulating the algorithm. This is the thing, though. The video I made yesterday in regards to parents saying no to your children when it comes to violent video games, the bang bang, shoot 'em up, I can see the blood splatter everywhere type of games. I'm not going to go through the list. They're out there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, those of you who watched that video from yesterday, little did I know that when I was making that video about how these violent video games does something to the brains of the young mind, and the young mind will take what they have absorbed in these games and go into the population, society, and it's blurred. They cannot establish reality from the game, and the lines become blurred. I touched on this yesterday. I simply touched on gun violence in games. And I shared a situation that happened with my children this week regarding a comment that a student made around them about killing people, and how the student enjoys killing people in the game. This was said. But anyway, if you want to know, just check out the video from yesterday titled "Say No." Parents, say no to your children, I think is the title. And I can also put it in the description, the link of it in the description. But anyway, y'all bear with me because I haven't had a lot of sleep and I'm just kind of razzle-dazzled right now. Little did I know that when I made the video yesterday, or as I was making the video yesterday, the shooter, the horrible situation at Uvalde Elementary was happening. There was a mass shooter on campus as I was making that video. Now, I go back to what I was saying a few minutes ago about, empath, feeling extreme empathy, having the gift of insight, psychic ability, being a clairvoyant. Again, I struggle with all these titles because it's not something that that's not me. I don't promote it. I know that it's there. It's not anything I can tell you that I really try to harness or control. I just know that it's there. Sometimes I recognize it, sometimes I don't. So when I made the connection, after, once let me back up. Because I got a lot to say. So I'm letting you guys know I'm probably going to go on a rant. I'm probably going to be on my soapbox today. You all are about to really feel the core of the Libra brew. When I made the video yesterday, I uploaded it to YouTube, still didn't know what was happening. And why I didn't know what was happening, because oftentimes I make it a point, I don't have on anything in my home, a TV, a radio. It's just quiet. I try to create a peaceful environment for me, my kids. I'm about peace. I haven't always been the best at it, to be honest with you. But in my maturing age, I've gotten a whole lot better, and I've learned that I function and I navigate better when there is peace in my life. When there's a lack of peace, I don't function well, and I just recognize it and I move around it. I won't sit there and try to analyze, well, why isn't there any peace right now, and why is this so disruptive? And I'm going to be honest with you, as a Libras do not like confrontations. And I've noticed in the past that even to try to admit that is even a problem with certain individuals that I've come across. Because even admitting that you don't care for confrontation and that you avoid confrontation sometimes will turn into a confrontation about just that. So, I know this about me, and I know that is a part of, a part of my zodiac DNA makeup. I don't care for confrontation. And it's not that because I'm a scary person and I don't want to go back and forth, toe to toe with you. I know that physically in my body, confrontation does not do well. I know that I feel it physically in my body. It disturbs my central nervous system. And it's taken me a long time to make that connection. But once I did, I knew that when these things happen, that it's just best for me to move around. And it may seem to someone outside looking in, oh, she's avoiding the situation. I mean, you call it what you want to call it, but I'm going to tell you, I'm just trying to keep the peace in my life because I don't know how long I have here on this side of the dirt that we're on. So whatever number of days that I am allowed to live, I want to live peacefully. But this is the thing now. I desire to be a peaceful person in a world that's not peaceful. I desire to be a peaceful person in a world that is not peaceful. These mass shootings within 2 weeks' time, the shooting in Buffalo, the African Americans that were killed, all because that God Almighty decided to create them black, they were killed. That's what it comes down to. They didn't do nothing wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. They just woke up black and died black. Here we are 2 weeks later. Now we have more innocent people. And just not innocent people, but babies. The babies, precious babies. Babies. And it don't matter what color these babies are. Right now, I'm not looking at which box to check. I'm not looking at the box that says Hispanic or non-Hispanic, Black or African American, Asian or Island Pacific. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not worried about checking the box. That's not what it's about. America, you have to do something. We cannot leave the responsibility in the hands of the politicians. politicians forget that they are in the office and the position that they're in because of the people who elected them and placed them there. They work for the people. But the politicians that are in office at this time, they are working for themselves and for their own benefit and greed. We cannot think anymore that the current politicians are going to do something, because it is clear that they are not going to do the right thing. So you ask, well, Libra Brew, what do you do? Honestly, I really don't know, because like I tell you all the time, I'm just average Joe Blow. I'm just average Jane Doe living my life. I don't have the answers. I have some thoughts. Yesterday I felt like, why don't we just follow the money? Follow the money trail. I tell my children all the time, when you want to ask yourself, why is this like this and that like that, always first ask yourself, where's the money coming from? And follow the money trail, because 99.9 times at the end of the day, it's about the almighty dollar. It may not be in your pocket, but I guarantee you, if you follow the paper trail, if you follow the money trail, it's going in somebody's pocket. So yesterday I thought, the public school system, which is a whole nother video, and I'm going to try my best to stay on topic, but if I veer off, hey, it is what it is today. The public school system, the districts, they get paid for each child that comes to school each day. Thus, this is why attendance is taken. They're going to make you believe the attendance is being taken for this, that, or another reason or whatever. But again, and it may be other reasons, but ultimately the main reason is they need to make sure you come to school so they can get paid for that child attending school on that day. Hey, what would it look like if there was a movement that all parents congregated together, vast majority population, because, I know we're not all going to be on the same page with things, with suggestions, but I'm just saying, let's just pretend, let's imagine, hypothetical. If we could all get on the same page and just don't let your kids go to school like for the next 48 hours, just everybody, the whole nation, everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in Texas, Louisiana, wherever, California, wherever, every state in the nation. What would that look like if every state in the nation participated in just a 48-hour lockdown of no school to bring awareness to this evil problem that we have on American soil? Would that solve the problem? You say? No, it's not. But I tell you what it will do is that for 48 hours, we will know that no child will be killed for just trying to learn in their school. That's what it'll do. And for 48 hours, somebody's bank account, somebody's pocket, checkbook, something is going to be affected. The civil rights movement, the boycotting, the mass boycott, not using the buses to go to work, to go to school. For those of you who don't know the history, the rejection of using buses went on for almost about a year. I could be off on my exact number of days, but I am pretty sure it was close to a year. Now, why did that happen that way? It happened because it was already proven that a mass majority of folk that was taking public transportation were black people. And black people were the same people that were being discriminated, having to ride on the back of the bus because they was black. But most of them had to rely on public transportation to get to work, to get to school, to do their grocery shopping, whatever it is, to take care of their business. So the communities came together and got on one accord and decided, we're going to boycott and not ride the buses. And that means if you don't ride the bus, you're not giving your money. And if you're not going to give your money to get this service, somebody's going to be affected. And that's exactly what happened. I'm giving y'all a rush course in this because, truthfully, I can talk. And what you don't know is I love history. I'm a history buff. So I'm just giving you bullet points to get the gist of it. As time went on, as they approached, getting closer to, almost a year to this, guess who couldn't put food on their table? The white man that was driving the bus for the black folk. The white bus drivers, their pockets were being affected, and so on up the chain. Now it's a problem because our money is funny. We got to do something. We got to get these Negroes back on the bus. What is my point? Follow the money. Hit them in the pocket. Politicians, whoever got their hand in the cookie jar. District administrators, whoever. I don't know all the titles, and I'm not going to pretend to know, to act like I'm a little Miss Know-It-All, but I know enough. My common sense is pretty sharp here. We cannot leave the responsibility anymore to the lawmakers, because the lawmakers are not making and or changing the laws when it comes to gun control, gun violence. I remember Columbine, which was the first mass shooting that we had experienced here in the nation regarding a school. This is before I had my children. I remember then how that made me feel. And mind you, I don't know any of these people, but I know how I feel. And I know that Columbine, that made me feel sick to my stomach. And I feel the same way. I don't know how many years later. Columbine happened in the late 90s. And here we are in 2022. The backdrop I have today with the Nerf blasters and the Hot Wheel cars, your little Lego people. I even got a story with that for y'all. First of all, these Nerf blasters. These are my kids. It belongs to them. I got them for them. Let me give you the story about these Nerf blasters. First of all, my kids, I want to try to keep some things private because I know this is YouTube. So, again, bear with me. My kids are, we'll just say they're approaching their teen years, right? Prior to this time, they would beg me as little kids to buy them little toy guns, water guns. My kids will tell you, what I'm about to tell you is the truth. I've never bought my kid a water gun, ever. Neither one of them. These Nerf blasters are the first things of its kind that I went ahead and said, okay, I'm going to get these for y'all. Because you keep asking me. 2, I feel like you're old enough to handle the responsibility. Now, listen to me. You think, what responsibility do they have? They're toys. Let me tell you something. My children are boys of color. That in itself is a responsibility. So they would always ask me, Mom, why won't you buy us this? It's just a toy. It's just a water gun. I told them, I said, I can't risk it. I cannot. Because it looks fun and it's just a toy gun to you. But somebody will see you with it and let it be at night and you're just playing outside, having fun with your friends and whatnot. And someone will think that it's real and not knowing that it's not real. And if they think that you have a real gun in your hand, they're going to shoot you. A cop can just shoot you just for thinking that you have a real gun in your hand and may not even have nothing in your hand. Your hands might be up in the air. That's another video, not going there. The this is why I would never buy them anything like this. These Nerf blasters that they have, they don't leave the house. They're not allowed to go outside and play with them. Go to the park and play with them. They're not allowed to do that. They play with them inside the house. Does it drive me crazy? Absolutely it does. Because they're boys, they're rambunctious, they get loud, they're running around. But those are my rules. Those are my stipulations. And I tell them, you can't go outside with this, daytime or night. I don't care. Because they're like, Mom, you can look at it and tell it's not real from the color. Yeah, because you're right up on it. But what about the person who's not right up on it? Because let's just take a look at these Nerf blasters. You see the name they give them, Nerf blasters. But look, what did it look like? Clearly. Look at this. Look at the chamber. Look at that. Look. It's a revolver. So, my kids, I'm not saying my kids are perfect and they're the best kids out there, but what I am saying, at the age they are right now, they got a pretty good understanding why their mama is the way that she is. And they have a good understanding why I've said no so many times. And why do they have that understanding? Because of what happened yesterday. Because of all the other incidents that they've asked me about. Why did this happen? Why did they shoot that man? Why? And it's so sad, people, because these are just toys. And kids should be able to just have fun and play with no worry. But where we are today in the nation, that's just, it can't go down like that no more. Parents, you guys, you have to be vigilant with your child and the children that are around your children. I tell my kids all the time, what happens in our home is in our home. Don't assume that it's like that in other people's houses, because it's not. I talk to my kids about, if you go to somebody's house and you happen to be around a gun or something that looks like a gun, leave. Call me. And they don't really go to anybody else's house like that. But I know there'll be a time when they're going to be completely teenagers, and I'm just not going to be there all the time. So we have these conversations. Your mama may not own something in the house that's going to cause danger to you, but you might go to somebody else's house and it will. Stay on guard. Be observant. This is how I talk to my children all the time. The young man from yesterday, is so much I can say about, from what I've learned. 18, shot his grandmother first, and then made his way to the school. Clearly, the child obviously had issues, and like always, once these things happen, Then they want to do the investigation and go through all of their stuff and find out, oh, the signs were here. So I'm going back to America. We cannot leave this up to the politicians. I'm now speaking specifically to communities, parents, community leaders. I'm talking to all the churches out there that have quote unquote youth ministries, mega churches that are bringing in mega loot. We need to form together, create some type of, I don't know the word for it, task force, I don't know. But we need to form our minds, willpower, power, come together and identify these individuals that are living among us, that are becoming a fungus. We need to be able to identify them and do something about it. COVID added another layer, the isolation. I realize that. I get it. But this is the thing. Yes, COVID advanced the problem, I believe, but know that the problem was here before COVID, people. I don't know that teenager's story. Obviously, he was living with his grandmother. I don't know where his parents are. So it brings me to this point. Adults that are listening to this video, this heartfelt video, because let me tell y'all something. Like everybody else, I'm tired. I'm tired of turning on my TV and just seeing people dying for no reason. If you look right now, everybody is being affected by what has happened yesterday. The news reporters are having a hard time keeping it together. They're reporting the news with tears in their eyes. Not just one or two, but all of them. So, listen, I'm speaking to, everybody. All the adults, all the parents. I'm speaking to educators, teachers, because their lives are in jeopardy. The students and the teachers. Their lives are in jeopardy now. Every single day, they decide to go into the classroom. My kids are worried about going to school. I have to explain to my children, God has covering over you. This is why we pray. This is why your mother tries to create a peaceful environment so peace can always be upon you. But do we have a guarantee? I don't say that part to them. I'm saying this to you. We must rally together and create some type of movement, regardless of what the politicians think and feel. Texas is the #1 state in America for mass shooters on school campuses. And then we have the NRA that's having their conference here. If we cannot change the laws overnight, if we cannot get these Republicans to do the right thing, because, I try not to get into a Republican versus Democrat, because I'm not that person. I'm not a politician. I'm not, I follow certain things, but it's like when you open up that can, it's like, oh my God. But on this situation right here, because we've seen the statistics, we've seen the stats that majority of America is in agreement that there should be stricter gun laws, background checks. Why is it that you can be 18 in the state of Texas and purchase firearm, but you cannot walk into a bar and purchase a drink? Riddle me that, Joker. It's something wrong. Follow the money. So, what do? I'm calling out the school districts, man. Y'all need to look in your budget and make these schools safer. Hire the security, remodel the campus in such of a way where, it's one way in, one way out, metal detectors, all of that, rhetoric that I hear about metal detectors, and, we don't want our kids to feel like, they're going into a prison or whatever. I bet you they'll come home alive. I feel like the point I'm trying to make, because it may sound to somebody that I'm rambling, the point I'm trying to make is, let's focus on what we can do on our own without having a politician. I want to call their names out so bad. My tongue, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I know if I say their names, it's just going to fire me up, and I'm going to go off. I'm not going to be peaceful. I want to be a peaceful person. So I can't say their names, but you know who I'm talking about, y'all. We have to focus on the things that are in our control and that we can change without the authority of a politician trying to pass a law. Until that time happens, what can we do? We cannot send our children to school for 48 hours. Or 72 hours. I don't know, 24 hours. It's just, it's just a thought, an idea, suggestion. I'm all about creating a movement. If y'all want the video to go viral, make the video go viral. Get me 50 subscribers so I can come live. I don't know. Because this is serious. I'll do another one. If it means we're going to save lives here. Babies. Innocent people. Don't send your children to school for 48 hours. Parents, educators come together, put pressure on the districts to make the schools safer by hiring security. And I don't mean Joe Blow security. I mean real security. Physical men that know how to handle intruder situations, train security, implement security cameras in the schools, create exits one way in and one way out, lock the doors automatically. Like when there's a tornado, you build a bomb shelter. You know, there are places where they have, not bomb shelters, but, you know what I'm trying to say, you know, where you go underground and you wait for the tornado to pass. I'm just having a blank moment, but if we need to look at the budget and start doing that in some of these schools, I don't know. It's just a thought. I know somebody's like, that's never going to happen. That's going to cost too much money. Where are they going to get the money from? Let me tell y'all something. Don't never believe money is not there to do things. This is a myth. The money is there. It's just not in your hand and in your pocket. But if we start putting pressure on where the money is coming from, something can be done. But we have to stick together and do this. We can't just talk about this thing right now for a couple of days, a week, and then go back to our normal lives and forget about it until it happens again. We gotta put the pressure on these people that can make some changes. And I'm not talking about the lawmakers. And why I keep saying that? Because they haven't. That's why I keep saying it. Because if they really wanted to, they would have done it by now. They would have done so. We wouldn't be having these conversations. We wouldn't be turning on our TV every other week seeing this happening. And it seems like to me, it happens any given time, but it seems like to me it advances in the summertime. I don't know if it has something to do with the heat. I don't know. I believe today is the anniversary of George Floyd when he lost his life. Summertime, the heat, frying on a brain that's already in distress. My good men, my good women, I want y'all to know, Libra Brew struggled this morning with allowing my kids to go to school. I almost just didn't wake them up. And that's real talk. And when I dropped them off, I cried. And I said, Lord, I feel for all those families that I know nothing about. I don't know who they are, never met them, none of them. But if it's in your will, God, if it's in your will, keep my babies safe and covered. And not just my babies, but all the babies. Let them return home to those who love them. You should not have to worry about this. Real quick, it brings me to another point. Homeschooling. My kids are not homeschooled, but it's becoming more and more of a thought now. I tell my kids all the time, as it pertains to other things, if you stay home, you're safe. But how safe are they in the school? They're not. You're not safe at the grocery store. You're not safe. You trying to get dinner for the night. You might not even make it back home, y'all, to cook dinner. This is the reality. This is where we are. I'm not being extra today. I'm not exaggerating. I'm giving it to you raw. Do you all remember the shooting at the theater? You forgot about that, didn't you? Can't go to the movies. You just want to go be entertained. Catch a flick. Instead, you caught a bullet. And now you an ancestor in the afterlife. And I get it. When it's your time, it's your time. Can't nobody control that. I know that. But y'all, I'm here to tell you, I don't know. I don't think this is the way, though. Nobody wants to go like that. Nobody wants to transition in this manner. These kids had their whole lives ahead of them. The children are our future. They are the generation that is supposed to take it to the next level. But how can they if we have these, lone wolves among us killing them? Kiss your babies and tell them you love them every day. I know I do with mine. Every day. Sometimes a few times a day. But I do it for this purpose right here. Because I never want to take the day for granted. Wherever your community is, whatever community you live in, I'm going to leave you with this. Think about my rant today. Think about some things I've said. And ask yourselves, what can you do to help this situation? Because it's not a them and they problem. It's a us problem. Nobody's exempt on this one. There's no indicator. We can't spot these people out. We got all this advanced technology, the algorithm. Y'all heard me talk about it before, stimulating the algorithm. Everything is digital. Everything is on the grid. We can track people. Nothing is private anymore. So if the algorithm is so advanced, if anything you do is not private anymore, why are these people private? Why can't we, what's up with that? Can we figure out a way to use technology to give us an indicator for these individuals? Ask yourself, what can you do to help others come to a solution and resolution to this problem? We have to make it harder. The one good thing that came out of COVID, when we had the lockdown, when we weren't moving around and couldn't really go anywhere, when the schools were closed, There were no shootings at a school because there was nobody in them. Kids survived. Yes, COVID was taking lives, but that's the only good thing I can see that came out of COVID during that time. I've been on here for an hour, using my power. What you gonna do with yours? This is Willpower Wednesday. You've been listening to the Libra Brew. Pray for the nation. Pray for yourselves. Let's come to a solution. Peace.